Welcome back into Queen City News. The paint schemes fans see on NASCAR race cars aren't just for looks. The designs sometimes lure in potential sponsors.
And teams are getting creative with who they tap to create the schemes. Queen City News reporter Brett Baldock is here to introduce us to one of those designers. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning, Ann, Wyatt, and Jason. Just like the cars NASCAR drivers compete with, paint schemes have evolved over time. A few teams have turned to a man hundreds of miles away from Charlotte in West Palm Beach, Florida, to create some recognizable race cars.
He is not too wide right behind you, one back here lane.
Since I was a kid, I remember watching Cale Yarborough in the early 80s going around Talladega. And I love fast cars.
The cars have changed since then, but one thing remains the same. Sponsors drive NASCAR. The bolder the paint scheme, the better. David Marrero has been a soldier for 30 years. He now serves in the Army Reserves. He also designs NASCAR paint schemes, but Marrero didn't discover this creative gift until he went to a race in 2016. He asked a team owner one simple question: how can he help?
One thing led to another, and he didn't pay me a dime, first of all. He said, commission only, and this is, show me what you got.
What Marrero got is a job this year designing schemes for Live Fast Motorsports. Designs don't start on paper, but on a computer using Adobe Illustrator.
Then I have a 3DS Max, which I could put a 3D model of the race car, and I can put it inside the track or on a picture or whatever.
The process is just beginning. The models are sent to sponsors for approval, and what they say goes.
Anybody can design cars, anybody can make things good, but the sponsorship is where the money is.
His designs have brought in sponsors, many of them new to the sport. But his inspiration today originates from an old art staple.
So I used to watch Bob Ross, just like everybody else in the world. And my grandmother sent me to art school to do, paintings and things like that. I was good on my own sketching things and making things look real.
So who doesn't love Bob Ross? But that car that you saw right at the end there, that was one of the 3D models. That was not an actual race car at a track. And the race cars in NASCAR are actually technically no longer painted. They print out a wrap, and then they put that sealed wrap onto the car. And back in the day, they used to be, they actually used to paint the cars because they thought even that little bit of drag would make the car slow down. So the paint, they would use that to make it so the airflow would go over easier. But then they changed to all wraps just to make the process a little bit easier, changing the paint schemes in and out, and because sponsors change from race to race.
This guy is super talented. How many of these has he done? Like, how long does the process take?
He said he's done hundreds, so he's lost track of how many that he's done, but he said he can get one done from the phone call that he gets to the finished project on a 3D model. He can do it in just a couple of hours. Wow. So he can do it pretty quickly, and he says the simpler the better. He really likes simple designs, the logo, the colors, not anything too flashy. But I mean, some of those that you saw were amazing, especially the first one, the multicolored number 50 car that ran in the Daytona 500 this year.